Hello sporters. Welcome. If it is your first time here, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you will be alert each time we update a new video. Serena Williams announced today that she will step back from her professional tennis career. Williams describes the decision as a transition and an evolution, as she focuses more on her work as an entrepreneur, philanthropist and mother to her 4-year-old daughter, Olympia, and turns a page on her career as one of the greatest tennis players of all times. The numbers are extraordinary. Since winning his first major single title in the US Open in 1999, Williams has won 23 Grand Slam titles, a record for any player, male or female, in the Open era, and shares the record of consecutive weeks spent as number 1 in the world in the WTA rankings, a full 186 weeks, with Steffi Graf. She has won 4 Olympic gold medals, a record she shares with her sister Venus, and is widely regarded as the highest-earning female athlete of all time. But even with all these titles, honors and trophies, perhaps the most significant achievement of Williams' 3-decade career has been her reform of women's sports. Her constant advocacy of narrowing the pay gap and achieving equal opportunities, both inside and outside tennis, has made her one of the most respected voices on the issue, while her candor when it comes to racism and shame of the body she has had to deal with during her career. A career for young women of color to follow in her footsteps, with a diverse new generation of players citing her regularly as a central source of inspiration. I'd like to think that, thanks to the opportunities I have, athletes feel like they're on the pitch, Williams tells the press. They can play aggressively and pump with their fists. They can be strong but beautiful. They can wear what they want and say what they want, kick ass and be proud of everything. It makes sense, then, that Williams is determined to enter this new phase of her life and career on her terms, even if it means embarking on a path that has never been before her. I never liked the word retirement, continues Williams. It doesn't seem like a modern word to me. But wherever she goes, her legions of fans and admirers will surely follow her. Here, to celebrate the end of an era, we retrace the 10 best moments of Williams' impressive and inimitable career. 1997. Her first big wins in Chicago. By the late 1990s, there was already a conversation in tennis circles about the unstoppable rise of the Williams sisters, who redefined the women's game with their athleticism and extraordinarily powerful serve. And while Venus, having reached the US Open finals in 1997 at the age of 17 as the first to enter the mainstream consciousness, that year was also an important year for Serena from 16 years old. Traveling to Chicago to compete in the now-defunct Ameritech Cup, Williams qualified for the semi-finals despite finishing 304th, after a series of stunning wins over world number 7 Mary Pierce and world number 4 Monica Seles. Although her stunning run was ultimately cut short by Lindsay Davenport, it set her apart in the tennis community as a player to watch. 1999. Her first Grand Slam singles title. In 1998, Williams began competing in her first Grand Slams, setting a solid record and finishing 20th on that year's tour, but 1999 was to be her real breakthrough year. After world number 1 Martina Hingis defeated Venus in the US Open semifinals, Serena faced Hingis in her first appearance in a grand final to win a match, which she won in straight sets. Defeating Hingis and winning the trophy was a defining moment in Serena's early career that cemented her newfound status as a force to be reckoned with. 2001. Her powerful response to racism in Indian Wells. Throughout her career, Williams has spoken openly about the culture of racism she and her family have faced in the elite and predominantly white world of tennis. And a few moments shaped his experience as strongly as the Indian Wells tournament in California in 2001, where match-fixing allegations fell on his father, Richard Williams, after Venus retired with tendinitis. When Williams took to the court to face Kim Clijsters in the final 2 days later, she was met with overwhelming boos from the crowd and cheers for each of her unforced errors, while Richard and Venus both recounted having were racially abused as they watched from the podium. After the match, the Williams sisters quietly boycotted the event for 14 years. This has haunted me for a long time, Williams wrote of that tournament in a 2015 editorial for Time. He also haunted Venus and our family. But most of all, it made my father angry and sad. He devoted his whole life to preparing us for this incredible journey. Williams' decision to return to Indian Wells, she noted, came after what she saw as a cultural shift and more outspoken condemnations of racism within tennis by governing bodies. Indian Wells was a pivotal moment in my history, and I am also part of the tournament history, she continued. Together we have a chance to write a different ending. Her first steps on the pitch in 2015 were met with overwhelming cheers. 2002. Her first world ranking at number 1. 3 years after Serena won her first major US Open title, she defeated Jennifer Capriati in the semifinals at Roland Garros to face her biggest competitor, her sister. Well, it wasn't the first time the two sisters had played in a Grand Slam final, which took place at the 2001 US Open, with Venus victorious. It helped Serena out of her sister's shadow. By winning the game 7-5, 6-3, she not only scored her first win at the French Open, but she also kicked off her first Serena Slam. This was followed shortly after by Serena's victory in London, once again beating Venus, who was the reigning two-time Wimbledon champion at the time, without losing a set throughout the tournament. Her victory ultimately took her to the top spot in the world, where she would stay for the next 57 weeks. 2003. The first Serena Slam. And so on until the first Serena Slam, achieved after Serena defeated Venus in their fourth consecutive Grand Slam final showdown, making her the first player to hold all 4 major titles simultaneously by Steffi Graf in 1994. This pivotal moment in Serena's career was cemented at the Australian Open, where the sisters battled in 3 sets in a heart-pounding match before Serena finally took victory. 2007. Her return to the Australian Open. The mid-2000s proved to be a tough time for Williams. Shortly after successfully defending her second consecutive Wimbledon title in 2003, her knee injury forced her to stop playing for the rest of the year. During her long recovery period, her older half-sister Yedin Price, who had previously worked as her personal assistant, was shot dead in a misidentification case involving gang violence in the hometown of the family from Compton, California. Over the next few years, Williams struggled with depression and experienced what she called one of the hardest times in her life. However, in one of the most spectacular comebacks of her career, Williams returned to the Australian Open in 2007, finishing only 84th, and fought to the final, where she faced rival Maria Sharapova, beating her in 2 sets, 6-1, 6-2. Williams was back. 2012. Completed the Golden Slam at the Olympic Games. The Olympics proved to be of particular significance to the Williams sisters, in part because of the opportunity to showcase the strength of women's tennis to a wider audience. Williams' victory at the 2012 Olympics was particularly sentimental. Not only did she perform spectacularly at the final in London, dropping only a single game before besting Sharapova, but the Games made Serena the second player in history, after Graf, to achieve the career Golden Slam, winning all 4 major titles, plus the Olympic gold medal in singles. The next day, she would return with Venus to take home the gold for women's doubles, becoming the first tennis player in history to take home a career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles. 2015. The second Serena Slam. The mid-2010s were another golden era for Serena, made all the more extraordinary by the fact that she was in her 30s. After a blood clot in 2011 led to a pulmonary embolism and left her fighting for her life in hospital, Serena returned after a year out with renewed vigor and determination, helped by her thrilling partnership with coach Patrick Mouratoglou, whom she hired in 2012. Eventually claiming the world #1 spot for the 3rd time in 2013 at the age of 31, she became the oldest #1 in the history of women's tennis. Following soon after was one of Serena's most impressive winning streaks ever, concluding with her victory over Garbine Muguruza at Wimbledon in 2015. She scored her 4th consecutive Grand Slam victory, and completed her infamous Serena Slam for the 2nd time. Scoring her 4th consecutive Grand Slam victory proves once again that age is just a number, and seals her status as one of the most dominant female players in the sport. 2017. winning the Australian Open while pregnant. In 2017, Williams defeated Venus in the Australian Open final without losing a set during the tournament, securing her status as the most prolific Grand Slam winner of the Open year, 23 titles, to be exact, and her 7th win. Ensured in Melbourne. And if all that wasn't enough, a few months later it was revealed that Williams was about 8 weeks pregnant at the time, something she learned herself just days before the tournament started. After the news sparked social media, many expressed their amazement at Williams' ability to perform at full capacity, as well as she carried her first child at the age of 35. If that doesn't serve as a testament to Williams' well-deserved place in the pantheon of the greatest athletes of all time. Alright guys, this is all I have for today. If you think I left out something, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments section down below. Also, if you found this video interesting, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.